Okay, let's be honest. Most Americans hear Federal Reserve drama and tune out entirely, which is perfectly fine. But if you live in San Antonio and are thinking about buying a home, refinancing, selling, or investing, what is happening between Donald Trump and Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell may directly influence your monthly payment, your home's value, and your long-term equity. This is not Washington noise or political noise. It's a battle over interest rates, bank oversight, and the future cost of money. And San Antonio real estate sits squarely in the crosshairs. Uh-oh, not good. Now let's try to explain this power struggle in very plain English. Jerome Powell's term as Federal Reserve Chairman ends in May, but he can legally stay on the Fed's 7-member board as governor until 2028. That distinction matters that more than most headlines explain. Why Trump wants Powell gone. If Powell leaves entirely, it leads to Trump appointing 2 Fed governors. If he stays as governor, it leads to Trump only appointing 1 new chair. 2 seats instead of 1 means a Trump-aligned majority, pressure for lower interest rates, weaker bank oversight, faster economic stimulus. From a political perspective, Powell stays blocks that strategy. Why a criminal investigation probe was entered into the picture in the first place. The Trump administration launched a criminal investigation into Powell, a move widely seen by economics as a political pressure, not coincidence. Former Fed officials believe the probe was meant to push Powell to resign. It might have instead hardened his resolve to stay. A Federal Bank of America economics Ethan Harris put it. Powell will remain as a punching bag for the president as long as he's on the Fed board. The unintended consequences of the probe. Powell may stay longer. Ironically, the investigation appears to have done the opposite of what was intended. Powell, historically reserved and silent, publicly pushed back, stating that he would not be influenced by political pressure or intimidation. That moment mattered. Economics now estimate greater than a 50% probability that Powell stays on the board. A prolonged fight over Federal Reserve independence delays in Trump's ability to reshape monetary policy. This is very, very important and why the Fed's independence to homebuyer matters. The Federal Reserve sets the tone for mortgage interest rates, credit availability, inflation control, bank regulations. When the Fed is independent, rate decisions are slower, data-driven, anti-inflationary. When the Fed is politically influenced, rates are often artificially low, inflationary, volatile. That difference changes housing markets drastically. What this means for interest rates, the realistic scenario. Scenario number 1, Powell stays. Rates remain higher for longer. Inflation pressure is controlled. Mortgage volatility stabilizes. Home prices grow more slowly, but sustainable. Scenario number 2, Powell leaves. Faster push for rate cuts. Short-term affordability boost. Long-term inflation risk. Prices surge in growing markets like San Antonio. Neither income is bad, but the timing matters. Why San Antonio is uniquely affected. San Antonio sits at the intersection of a strong population growth, relative affordability compared to other cities or other Texas cities, heavily reliance on mortgage refinancing. That makes it extremely sensitive to Fed policy shifts. Lower rates do not just help buyers, they increase competition, raise prices, compress inventory, favor sellers and investors. San Antonio real estate, who benefits the most from this? Buyers, early movers win, waiting for the perfect rate often backfires, payment certainty beats rate speculation. Sellers, rate cuts bringing buyers floods, listing during uncertain creates leverage, pricing strategy more than timing headlines. Investors, rate volatility creates opportunity. San Antonio rent remains resilient. Long-term hold outperforms political cycles. Now the bigger picture. This is about control of the economy. Trump's team sees the Fed as the missing piece of the puzzle. Powell sees it as a fight as historic. Economics warn Fed's independence has never been under this level of pressure before. Supreme Court rulings may reshape removal protections. Future chairs may not be as resilient under political pressure as Powell has. This battle extends far beyond one term. What history tells us, this has happened before. There was a former federal chair that stayed on the board after losing his chairmanship in 1948, fighting President Truman over independence. The Fed survived, the economy adjusted, real estate markets evolved, San Antonio grew anyways. Now, what are smart San Antonio buyers doing right now? They are buying based on payment, not rate headlines, locking in before uncertainty resolves, choosing neighborhoods with long-term fundamentals, working with advisors who understand macro trends. Why this benefits San Antonio real estate long-term. Regardless of who wins, population growth continues, housing demand remains strong, inventory stays constrained, San Antonio remains affordable relative to Austin, Dallas, and Houston. Political volatility creates window of opportunities, not collapse. This is not a Fed story. It's a housing story. Jerome Powell staying or leaving will not just affect Wall Street, it will affect your mortgage rate, your buying power, your home's future value, your investment returns. Understanding that before the market reacts is how real wealth is built. Work with advisors who track policy before it hits the market. At the Garza Home Team, Rosa and I do not react to headlines. We anticipate their impact on housing. Whether you are buying your first home, selling strategically, investing long term, explore your future neighborhood, your future home, and your future opportunity and your market strategy at this website right here. Also, do not forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. Are you ready to make a move? Send us a DM.